wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ba'd. Then we're back with our brother Abdullah going over and learning the Arabic alphabet. And before we start with the third lesson, we could go over the homework a little bit. I know you sent it to me, Abdullah, and everything was right except two words, and we'll get to them inshallah. Instead of going through all 12 lines, all 3 lines for each of the 4 different letters, we'll just go through the last line. If you could read those for us real quick, just for our benefit. Anyone who comes along later on that might watch the video and want to benefit from it, inshallah, we'll try to type up the answers and put them in the description below. But also, there will be at least one line read here on the video, inshallah. So if we could start here with line number 3.
Lithulthin.
Lithulthin, okay.
Libintin.
Libintin, exactly.
Tanbutu.
Tanbutu, yep.
Labithu.
Labitha.
Labitha. Yeah. Nalbathu.
Nalbathu, exactly. Excellent. Okay. Then the next letter we had was the kaf. We just read line 6.
Kataba.
Kataba.
Bintuka.
Bintuka.
Likalbika.
Likalbika.
Tilka.
Tilka. Basically, everything you're doing now are real words. Everything here is a real word for the most part. Maybe there might be 1 or 2, but for the most part, everything you're doing, even if we don't go over the meaning, you're kind of getting used to the rhythm of how Arabic words are made, the sounds and the rhythm of how they work. So every one of these is a real word. Then we had the ra. Let's read line 9.
Tarakna.
Tarakna.
Rakibat.
Rakibat.
Tibnin.
Tubti. Yeah.
Tabna.
Taktubna.
Nablun.
Excellent. Then we had the zay, and here we had in line 10 we had a mistake. And this could be from a lot of writing or a lot of whatever, but here you said zarta. You wrote ZARTA.
Should be ZU.
ZU. And then here
maybe
you wrote kabart. Not kaburat, but kabart. It should be KABURAT.
Yeah.
But I figure there's 5 words per line on average, and there's 12 lines, so that's 60, and it might actually be closer to 70 words that you had to write out, and you only got 2 wrong, so that's like 3%. So that's like a 97%. So I think that's pretty good. But let's read line 12 here. That's the short line, inshallah, before we go on to lesson 3.
Non-re
Look at that. There's something on top of that rock, which makes it a zay.
Oh,
Nan,
it's a Z Z. Oh yeah. You're right. Z na na non zil non zil
nan, nan zero. Exactly.
za zal zal za zal zal zalzalt
Zalzalat. Exactly. And
zalzalat nak naktubu.
naktubu. Exactly. Jazakallah khairan. Okay, now we're going into lesson 3. In this lesson, we're going to learn 4 alphabets. These 4 alphabets are basically consonants in and of themselves for the most part, and they also help us make the long vowels. They can help us make the long vowels, and that'll become clear, inshallah ta'ala. So we're going to go over 4, and inside of these 4, 3 of them help us make the long vowels. So we have the first letter here is a wow. I'm going to put with an A, but you could spell it like wow, just like wow. It makes the w noise. When you put it on a line, it's just like the ra and the zay, right? Where it goes underneath the line with that tail thingy, and it doesn't connect on the left side. It doesn't connect to the letter after it, just like the ra and the zay. It doesn't connect on that left side of it. And we have wa, wi, wu. That clear?
Yep.
It looks like the ra, except it's got what it looks like is a big dhamma for real, right? A big U sound, right? A big
Yeah.
ooh. That's what it looks like, basically. So we have here, we can start reading on this line.
Waratha.
Waratha. Exactly.
Wakala.
Wakala. Exactly.
Thu.
No,
Thu.
it's a fatha. Thou.
Oh yeah. Thou. Thou. Is that an R? Yeah.
Yes.
Thawrun.
Thawrun. Exactly. Thawrun. It's a ox. We'll get that word soon in our vocabulary. I think in chapter or lesson 5 we get that word, but thawr is an ox.
Like a wood cutting axe.
Ox.
Oh.
Like a big animal with big horns.
Oh, ox. Okay. Okay.
And this one, you probably know this word here.
With the next one.
Yeah, this one.
Sabun.
Thawbun. Thobe.
Thawbun.
What's
Thobe.
a
Oh, it's like a
thobe?
thobe. Oh, it's a thobe.
Yeah.
Thawbun.
Yeah, what
Okay.
you wear, right?
Yeah.
Next.
La Lao Launun.
Launun. Laun is a color. Laun is the word for color. Like
Okay.
what laun is your thobe? What laun is your thobe? What color is your thobe, right? Go ahead on the next line.
Lao.
Low.
La.
Low means if. Low means if.
If. It's
Right?
gonna be an important one.
If. Like, yeah, that's definitely an important one.
Sovereign.
Thorin. Same word as above, just has a different ending, showing it's a different place in a sentence if you put it there, right? But for now, Thor. Okay, next.
La I don't know what that middle mark is.
It's
Lanin.
a wow. It just broke up like this. It's the same for both.
Okay. Launin.
Loaning, right?
Yeah.
Loan. The next
Wa
line,
Wataba.
wathaba. There you go.
Wazara.
Wazara. Exactly. Now this AW sound, low, tho, like this. In English, they call this a diphthong, right? A diphthong. It kind of changes the to a ow sound. You know what I mean? But you don't got to worry about that. But this is kind of, it's not a vowel, but it's kind of a noise that you'll hear lone, thobe, right? But it's just in English, they call it a diphthong. If you want to look up more about that, you can on your own. But we don't need to know that word. We don't use it very often. Let's read. Let's read this first line, and the next 3 lines will be your homework.
Taritha.
Tarithu, exactly.
Li Litha Lithaurin.
Lithulthin, exactly.
Lithu Lithu
Lith,
Lithu
litho,
Lith
tho,
Lithau
yeah.
Lithalbin.
Lithulthin, yes.
Wa Waratna.
Warathna, exactly.
Waratna.
Warathna. Sometimes you said warath, and sometimes you sound like you said a tap, but
Yeah.
like you went back and forth
Warathana.
between them. Warath, exactly. And the next one,
Nazalna.
nazalna, exactly. Now, like I said, these next 3 lines we could do for homework. It gives you a chance. Plus, we don't have to make the class as long, inshallah ta'ala. So you can do whatever else you guys need to do. The next
Sounds
letter is
good.
called a ya. It makes the e, the y, like yes or yard, the y sound. Yeah. When you put it on a line, it's kind of like the ba, the ta. It just has 2 dots underneath it. But when it's isolated, then it hangs down below the line. And when it's at the end, it's below the line. Right? So here we have ye, yo, ya. Ye, yo, ya. Clear?
Kind of. It's just like a reverse to.
A reverse tie, basically. It hangs down below the line where the tie doesn't do that. But for the most part, it's like a reverse tie. Yes.
That I guess that S kind of reminds me of the K, but um, yeah, should be
The
able to figure it out.
calf, the
Yeah.
calf is bigger. It's like this, or if it's by itself, or if it's in the middle, then it looks like this. Whereas the yacht by itself, when it's at the end, will look like this when on a line. So if I connect them, I connect here, I put my calf and then my yacht, it'll look like that. This is your calf here, and this is your yacht. So while they look a little bit alike, not a whole lot.
All right.
Some things, it's a foreign alphabet. It's not going to be,
Yeah.
maybe first day was super easy. You didn't have any background. So you were just learning 4 letters. Well, then yesterday you learned 4 more letters. And then today you're learning 4 more letters. You know what I mean? So it might pile up a little bit, but at the same time, some of it will become easier because you're getting used to it at the same time. So there's a level of difficulty by piling it up, but there's also a level of ease by consistency.
Yep.
Inshallah.
Yarkab, yarkab.
Yarkabu. Exactly.
Yak, yaktubna.
Yaktubna.
Yaktubu.
Yaktubu. Exactly.
Yark, yarkabna.
Exactly. Now just stop for a second. I want to show you something. We said yesterday kataba has to do with something to do with writing, right? And rakiba has something to do with, this one has something to do with writing, and this one has something to do with riding, rakiba. But we see here, all we did here is add the ya in the front of it. Everything else is the same. The first letter has a sukoon on it, the second letter, right? And the third letter, they all end up. Same thing here. Yar, kab, na. Anyway, there's a root here. So once you learn this pattern, yar kabna, and you find out what that means, the next time you learn another word and you see it's on that same pattern, but with different letters, but I know it has something to do with writing, you'll automatically be able to plug and play those words into one another. So you can automatically know what a word means just by knowing its root and knowing some patterns. So you'll come across a new word and you'll come across a new word and I say, I see the root. You know, finding the root is going to take a little bit of time. But once you find the root, once you figure out how to do that pretty easily, you find the root, you put it on a pattern, done. You know what it means. Very simple. The next line.
Rawiya.
Rawiya. Excellent. This one might be a little hard for you.
Bintun.
There you go. Now, if you write it out, it becomes simple. When you see, if I were to make this a syllable, how do I pronounce this in English?
Bay.
Bay, right? Baytun. So this bay, when this ya comes with a fata in front of it and it has a sukoon on it, it's going to make the a sound, whether it be ray or lay or k, right? Anytime you have it, or nay, right? Or tay, whenever it comes, it's going to say the a sound, and you're going to have that a lot. For example, this word means bait, house. This is house. You're going to hear this a lot. Baytullah, the house of Allah, right? Bait. Next word.
Kawiya.
Kawiya. Exactly. Next line.
Bintin.
Bintin. Exactly.
Yanzilu.
Excellent. We'll read this line here and then we'll make 4 and 5 homework.
Yarithu. Tathib.
No, it's the opposite of the top.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Yathibu. Yeah. No need to say sorry. You're doing excellent, man.
Yeah. Nanzilu.
Exactly.
Bay. bintuka.
Bintuka. Exactly.
Ra ye.
No. What's this?
What
Ra.
way? Rawe. Ya Rawiyat.
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 Exactly. Excellent, man. Excellent. Excellent. You do number 4 and 5 for homework. It's gonna be a piece of cake for you. Our third letter, and really, this is the only consonant they're going to introduce here, but they are going to introduce the fourth letter for the long vowel. So we'll say it. But this letter is called the meme. Meme, and it makes the sound. Right? When it's by itself, it looks like basically a circle with a tail. Here, because of the pen that they use, it's just like it's a thicker pen, so it looks filled in, right? But that's basically a circle with a tail, right? And then here, they wrote it a little bit cursive there. See this one right here is the same as this one. I don't know why they wrote it like that. Sometimes, just like in cursive or in calligraphy, they might stack letters and do this. They do the same thing here for ease of writing. It's harder to write, for example, like this. That's harder than if I say, you know what I mean? It's a quicker flow to do it the way they did it here. But for reading purposes, they should make it easy. So this looks like, and in the beginning, it looks like that. You want to make sure that you start at the bottom. You don't come like this. You don't come from the top around, because that's going to look like a different letter later on. It's going to look similar. So you want to start at the bottom, right? And come down. And then in the middle, it's going to be a circle. And then at the end, it's just going to look like a circle with the tail. Like I said, this is because of a thicker pen that they look filled in.
Yeah,
right?
calligraphy pen. Yeah.
Right. But for us, for our purposes, it's going to look like, like I said, I don't know why. Once I erase, it gives me a second before I can write. It's going to look like a circle, circle. And we say mi, ma, mo. Got it?
Yep.
Okay. Let's go with this line here then.
Minkum.
Excellent.
Bakum.
What's this here? What
Oh,
sound?
bikum.
Yeah, bikum. Next.
Betukum.
Betukum. Exactly. Next line.
Rameta.
Rameta. Exactly. Excellent.
Katabtum.
Katabtum. Lam. Lem is a negation word, like it negates something in the past. You're going to see that a whole lot in the Quran. Lem. This next word you're going to see a lot too. This is probably the most frequently used word in the Arabic language almost.
Min.
Min. Min means, for the most part, it can change in meaning a little bit, but for the most part, it means from. From. Now here, again, they did a little tricky thing here. This letter and this letter are the same. So they wrote the ra. They wrote it like this. And then before that, they wrote it like this, with just a little fancy. I can't even write it how they wrote it. I'm not on my screen, at least. I can't write it. But this here is a ra. But that's fancy. You're not going to run into that a whole. You're not going to run into that a whole lot outside of this book. You know.
Yeah, sounds good. That's kind of like, I guess, the good thing and the bad thing about this book is it makes it more difficult by having a bunch of different handwriting and fonts. So
it makes it more difficult, but also when you read somebody, they might write like that. You know, there's
yeah,
seven different styles of writing, 7 different types of so-called calligraphy, one of them being just like plain handwriting, which is what I'm telling you when I do this here, you know, and the other one is fancier and so on. So some people learn to write in different ways, even with the regular pen or pencil. And so to see how it could be written is good for you, but it also in early stages makes it a little harder.
yeah, but it's good. The exposure is good. Definitely not a complaint.
For sure.
Marartum.
Exactly. I was trying to write it for you in case you needed it on regular raws. Next one, they did the same thing here. Because it's difficult to say, not difficult, but more difficult, right? It takes more if you were to write it down, and you should practice writing these as well on your free time. Practice writing words, because getting your hand used to writing is going to be beneficial. But it's more difficult to write it out than to say, you know, it's just a cursive type of thing. So this is actually here what I wrote down here. Again, my pen is tripping. If I say, give me 1 second for my pen to act right. That's what that is. Can you see that?
Yeah. Yamlika.
Yamliku. Like I said, they just wrote the ya like this and then added the mean. And then, you know, because they did it fancy, they put the dots underneath it. But basically, that's your ya with your mean lam kaf. So yamliku. Okay. We're going to read this one and we're going to make, what is this, 6 and 7? We're going to make these homework, inshallah. We're going to read this first line.
Ramab
No, it's got 2 dots.
Oh yeah.
It's the opposite of
Ram. Wait, Rame.
not Ram, Ra. Just Ra. Ra. Rame.
Rametum.
Rame. No.
Is that right? Rametum?
Exactly.
You kind of broke up. Yeah. Okay.
No, that's it. Rametum. Excellent. You did it exactly right.
Zorti.
Zorti. Exactly.
Beitun.
Beiton. Yep.
Zorna. And we just did this letter.
They're being fancy. Yeah. Yamrorna. Exactly. Okay. Now, like I told you, this AW, when we put low, or the AY, These are called diphthongs. You can look that up more. This AW sound and the AY sound, right? You're going to see these a lot. Low and lay. When you have a sukoon on this ya after a fatha, or a sukoon on the wow after a fatha, is going to be AO or OA, you know? And this is something you're going to come across a lot. So you're going to have to get used to. Just like you look forward to seeing the sukoon when you say zurna, you're going to have to see if this is a ya here and this is a fatha. You're going to have to say, just like you have to say zur. Okay, I'm going to stop. You're going to have to say, I'm going to change the a to a. Zayna, for example. You understand?
Yeah.
So this is something you just got to get used to. Now, the next thing they do here is they introduce to us long vowels. They didn't really give us the third letter that we need for the long vowels yet, but they're going to introduce it right here. This here is called an aleph. It does not make a sound. The aleph does not make a sound on its own. It's only going to make a sound if you do something to it, which we'll learn later on. It of itself for right now is not going to make a sound. And it's just like the wow, it doesn't connect on the left. So if I was to write it, I'm going to say by itself, it looks like this. In the beginning, it's not going to be in the beginning. Because, yes, it will. I'm sorry. It'll be in the beginning, but it doesn't make a sound. It depends on what's before or after it, what sound it makes, and we'll get to there. In the middle, it's going to look like this. It's going to have a tail coming from the letter before it, and then the aleph. And then at the end, it's going to do the same thing if it's at the end, right? It's going to do the same thing. This is your aleph. You sent me a picture. How do I pronounce this word when this letter doesn't have anything on it? This letter here is an aleph. This makes and a fatha is going to come before it. A fatha is going to come on the letter before it, and it's going to make the long A sound. When we mean long A, we don't mean A like AY. We mean as if you're holding it for 2 counts. You understand?
Yeah.
So likewise, the wow, which we learned in the very beginning. Let me give me a blank paper over here. 1 second. Okay, the wow. So we have an aleph. It's always going to be associated with the fatha in front of it. We have a wow. It's going to be associated with the dhamma. It looks like it even. We said that, right? And then we have the ya. The ya is going to be associated with a kasra in front of it. So this is going to become, so right now this is a, this is o, and this is I. This is a, o, I. But once I put this aleph with it, it becomes a, 2 A's. When I put this wow with the dhamma, it becomes ooh, basically. Right? Ooh, like smooth, roof, like that. Ooh, right? And then when I have the kasra, I put the ya after it, it's going to be E, long E, like meet, feet, greet, like that. So this is going to be your long vowels. We have up above, I'll write up above, we have on our line, we have a fatha, a, I, o. Down below, I can make them in the right order here for us. No problem. So they can match what's above. If my pen will work. I don't know if I need a new battery or what. I shouldn't. Okay, then we have our line here. We have a it, becomes E and oo. These are our short vowels, and these are our long vowels. Now, you're not normally going to see a sukun written on them, although it can happen, but not normally. Normally, they automatically think when there's a fatha and a aleph, you're going to know that the aleph is long. Likewise, if it's a kasra and a ya, they're not going to put a sukun on there. They're going to automatically know you it's E. And the same thing with the dhamma and the wow. And then we have our diphthongs, right? We have our diphthongs, which are ow and a, right? So those are all our vowel sounds for now. That's it. Is that clear?
Yep. Need some practice, but yeah.
Well, we're going to give us some practice right here. They're going to give us where are we at? You can read the footnotes if we want. The long vowels are, if you see above, the kasra and the ya make the E sound. They're not going to write EE in this book. What they're going to write is an I with a line over it. They're not going to write OO for oo. They're going to write a U with a line over it, just like a long vowel in English. And they're not going to write AA. They're going to write an A with a line over it. That's how they're going to distinguish short and long. In English, we do this as a long, and we do this. We have this short sound, but they're not going to do a short sound. They're only going to give us the long sound sign. So a kasra with a ya is going to be an E, such as in li and b. A dhamma with a wow is going to be oo, such as in yazuru, yazuru, and yakunu. Yazuru, yakunu. You hear the difference?
Yeah.
And then the next one, if an aleph is followed by a fatha, then it's going to be such as in babun, kana. Versus if we said before, we would have said babun, babun. Now we put this aleph in there, babun. Not babun, but babun. And they're going to write it with an A with a line over it. Those are our long vowels. Now, the fourth letter here that I said we are going to go over is this aleph. And we'll learn more about it later on. But for now, they did introduce it to us. So we're going to talk about it, right? The aleph cannot be joined on the left side, just like the ra, the zay, the wow. The aleph, these do not join on the left-hand side. What else is up here? Let's just read these lines right here, these two lines, before we move to the next page. And then we'll have some more homework. So we can start here.
Z.
You can write ZEE if you want for now. You can write ZEE if you want, if it makes it easier, but they're going to write it as with a line over it.
Yeah. So what, like, okay, never mind. I get it. So
if it was by itself, it would be Z.
Yeah. But because it has,
but now
so that, but because that has the, what's the mark underneath called the kasra? The I.
The kasra.
Yeah. So since it has the kasra on the letter before, and this one doesn't have any, that makes it
sound. It doesn't have any vowels or anything. Because you could say, for example, Zia or ZU. You could do that. Zia, ZU. But it doesn't have anything here. When it doesn't have anything, it's just going to be Z. Give you a long sound.
Okay. Makes sense. So zoo,
Zoo.
za,
Za. Versus zu. Za. Zu. Zu. Za. Z. You understand?
yeah,
So it's just held longer or a little longer. The next letter, the next word here, that's what you asked me
baboon,
about. You sent me a picture. Babun.
babun, yeah,
Babun. You see how you prolong it? Babun. They say basically like a 2 count. Babun. Like if you do your fingers like this. If you can see my hand,
yeah,
go babun, babun,
yeah.
babun. The other one is babun, just a 1 count. You know, here it's a babun, like a 2 count.
Makes sense.
It'll be a little clearer. It'll be a little clearer on this next word, maybe.
Zara,
Zara, exactly. We didn't say Zara, no, we said
yeah,
Zara, and we cut ra into 1 count.
zuri, zuri,
Zuri, exactly.
um, ma,
Ma is an important word. It means what? And it can also mean not, depending on its context. They say, what do you mean, man? That's the same word meaning too. But we have the same thing in English. We have a date, which is a day on a calendar. We have a date, which we eat when we break fast. We have a date when we take our wives out to a nice dinner. The same word spelled the same way
yeah,
with 3 different meanings.
yeah.
Same thing happens.
What's interesting about that is the word run has like
Uh-huh.
644 uses or something like that.
Yeah. Why not?
Over 600 for one word. It's crazy. That's English.
Your refrigerator's running. It's not actually running. It's
Yeah,
operating. You understand what I'm
yeah.
saying?
You have a
So
paint run.
same
You
thing
run.
happens in the same thing happens in Arabic. Not often, but it does happen. That one word, it looks the same, but it has 2 different meanings. It doesn't happen as much as it does in English, though, I would say. Okay.
Fair enough.
Now let's read these 3 lines, and then this will be where were we at? Number 8 and 9, I think. Right? I think that's how it was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That'll be your homework. Let's read these 3, and then I'll let you go about your day.
Zura. Zura.
Zura. Yep. Zura.
Zur. Zurta.
Zorta.
What's this? Yakunu.
Yakunu. Exactly.
Yakunu.
Not yakunu, but yakunu. You see the difference?
Yeah. Yakunu.
Yakunu. Exactly. You did it right. I'm just telling you to hear the difference. That's all.
Bait. Baiti. Baited.
Beiti.
Baiti.
Yep.
Do I need to long sound that one?
No. It's your diphthong though.
Thou.
Yep.
Thou. Thowry.
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 Thowry. That's a long vowel in the second syllable, right?
Yep. Thowry. Cooney.
Cooney. Exactly. We'll read this one too. We'll read this next line. It doesn't give us any cheat sheets with it, so we know you know that we're reading it properly. And then the next two are your homework, inshallah. And then after the next lesson, we don't learn any new words. On the fifth lesson, we're just going to go over realizing that a lot of the words we've learned with the few letters that we have, we learned that we can already start to make phrases and sentences with those letters. Just like a little kid, before he learns the whole alphabet, he learns the alphabet in, say, when he's 4 years old, say, when he's 3 or 4. He's already able to talk some and say some simple sentences. That's what this book does. It gives you're an adult and you're starting later in a different stage, but you're an adult, so you're able to, before you get the whole alphabet, you'll have some speech already down.
Kalbi.
Yep.
Yanu.
Listen, I know you're saying it out loud, and I'm sorry I stopped you like I was correcting you, because I know you're saying it out loud and you're trying to put it together. But if you were to continue that way, you say ya zur, then that would be as if you put an aleph there. Now I know you're just doing it because you're trying to connect the letters together. I just stopped you for that purpose. But go ahead.
Yazur Runa. Yazuruna.
Yeah, exactly. MashaAllah. Nice.
Zurni.
Yeah.
Tazur. No.
Yeah.
Tazur. That's kind of a tough one. Tazur. Tazu. Ru.
Tazuruna. Yep, exactly. The only reason I stop you is because us Americans, like, I had a teacher from Syria, and he was, man, mashallah, his name is Hisham. He's an excellent teacher. And he could tell you where you were from. He could close your eyes, and he could tell you to say something, and he could tell what country you're from by the way you pronounce certain things. You know?
Yeah.
Like Somalis, they pronounce the kaf like a Q sound, not a K sound, right? This is something that they do. Or they pronounce the Q like a K, vice versa. Americans, we have a problem, and not everybody, but Americans have a problem of putting long vowels where they don't belong and not putting them where they do belong. Like, this is something we do. I still, after all these years, and I feel pretty confident in my ability to understand and to read and to somewhat speak, although speaking is my weakest skill out of area. We got reading, listening, writing, speaking. Speaking is my weakest. But I feel confident for the most part in everything to some degree. But when it comes to reading out loud, I still sometimes put a long vowel where it doesn't belong and a short vowel where it does, or where a long vowel belongs, because I used to do like what you just do. When I was trying to figure out this word, I said yazuruna. And I made this long, and I was happy that I got to this point, so I made this short and didn't pronounce it. You know what I mean? And so I was all messed up. So I'm trying to just bring to your attention a little bit that you don't want to drag it out. You'd rather break it into syllables if you have to, and then that way you don't put long vowels where they don't belong, and you put them where they do belong. All right.
Yep, makes sense.
I'm excited for this next lesson because that allows us to go to just words. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Say what you were saying.
I was just gonna say, I mean, you become what you practice, so your performance is how you practice.
Yeah. Right. And I'm bummed because I practiced like a bum. I learned on my own, basically. Basically. So that's my problem.
Yeah, the next one looks a little rough.
Anyway.
Sauces.
Yeah. Sassy soup. Yeah. That's all right. It's easy.
It's just a little W.
If you got all this stuff in 3 lessons, like I said, man, you got 12 alphabets, 12 consonants. You got 3 short vowels, 3 long vowels, and you have a sukoon. Right? You already got 18, 19 characters or whatever you need to read. And as I'm going through it, I think there might be 30. I said 39, 35, but I've added a few since then, right? For a few things that we'll learn and as well. So there's maybe 39 or 40 that you'll have. Inshallah, you already got half of them. So by the time you get to this 4th lesson and get a few more consonants, everything's going to be super easy. And you're going to say, man, I don't even know the whole alphabet. And I'm already able to say words.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I have to do some more practice.
Right.
I know this lesson was a little tougher than the other ones, just because I think I have so much in my mind now.
Yeah, that plus it's introducing some things, a little bit fancy handwriting. What's going to happen though is after this lesson, I don't think there's anything else they throw at us besides consonants. Not that I can think of. There's going to be words. You're going to have to start picking up vocabulary, but there's no new funny stuff they're going to throw at us. And once we have that, then from lesson 5 and 6 on is going to be just new letters and new words. And it gives us a lot of examples too. Translate this into it gives you Arabic text, translate into English. It gives you English text, translate into Arabic. Simple sentences, but stuff that you can start to feel good about yourself for.
Sounds good.
All right. You let me know when you're ready, when you do the homework and you're ready for the next one, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah. Appreciate it.
All right. You take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam. Have a good one. Bye.
You too.